now. I want to bring in Misty Marris, who is with us now to help talk through this, a defense attorney here in the state of New York. Misty, as we wait for opening statements to get underway, we heard from Donald Trump going into the courtroom, once again calling this a witch hunt, trying to make a connection with President Biden and the DA here in Manhattan, which of course there has not been any to be shown. As you wait for this to get underway here with opening statements, what are you watching for?
I'm absolutely watching for the way the prosecution lays out this case. Here's something that we can expect to see from the prosecutor's opening. Not only are they going to talk about the falsification of the business records, the second central piece to this case is that those records were falsified for the purpose of an attempt at another crime. That other crime is failure to do the proper protocols with respect to campaign finance law. So it's attempted campaign finance violations by calling these payments to Stormy Daniels legal fees, where the prosecution says it was to stifle these stories because it was going to be harmful to him in the election. Now, why does that matter? Well, the whole context of the affair, what's going on at the time, Donald Trump as someone who is running for president, all of that is going to come out. So in these opening statements, we could hear some pretty salacious details about those underlying stories. And the reason that it matters, it all speaks to that intent factor. Why were these business records falsified? And that's a critical part of the prosecution's case. So it's going to be a very broad look at that time, that snapshot in time, all for the purposes of proving intent. So that's going to be a really important piece.
And they're expected to be fairly short. Prosecutors' opening statements expected to be about 40 minutes. For the defense, we're told about 25 minutes. I also just want to bring, as I mentioned very briefly, there was a juror this morning who had some concerns about specifically the media attention, had some concerns about staying on the jury. There was a sidebar. We're now told that that juror is going to stay, going to remain with us, so that's not going to be an issue, according to the judge, after that sidebar. Does that surprise you at all? Day one, that there's somebody who went home over the weekend, thought about it, and said, this is a lot?
I really think that this is something we might see throughout the course of the trial, and that's why we always have juror alternates, because you never know what's going to happen to that those 12 individuals that are in that jury box, whether or not there will be an issue that comes up during the course of the trial. And in this particular case, Erica, my gosh, the media attention, the fact that there was some identifying information that was out there in the world. We know that that impacted one of the jurors who was selected and ultimately left the jury during jury selection. But this is the process. So if a juror raises a concern of that nature, the media attention, their ability to serve, they have a one-on-one conversation with the judge, where the judge probes and they ask questions to make a determination about whether or not that juror can continue to serve. Here it sounds like everything is okay and that juror is going to move forward. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see these types of things throughout the course of the trial, because there is so much attention on the trial. It is a historic trial. And look, the pressure is high on everyone involved, and jurors may not have expected it to be what it is. So we're probably going to see this, but the judge is handling it in the way that would be in accordance with New York protocol.